Hi lovers, it's Life Coach Veronica again, but this time I have my husband Adrian.
Hi everyone.
And today we're going to discuss stepping in. Just a few topics of stepping in. How about that?
I think you should explain what stepping in is. How about that?
Okay. So, what we think stepping in is stepping in is when a male or female with children decides to go into a new relationship with their kids. How does that sound?
So basically, it's a male or female that's entering into a new relationship with someone that has kids already. So there are like 3 or 4 steps that we could figure out right now that would help you transition into that. So would you like to start?
Well, that's kind of like us. Like I had a few dumplings when I met you and you stepped in.
That's correct.
What are some of the first things you did? I already know, but what was one of the first things you did with my son?
So before we even get there, let's qualify how it starts. You want to be able to at least get into a seeming relationship with the individual first. So you want to know that this person can actually connect with you on a different level. Let's just begin with that. So after we get into that part of it, then that would be a first step. Second step would be the introduction, basic introduction to you and your potential new family, or the kids that you're gonna be meeting for the first time, or you need to address, they need to meet you. You just need to set the temperature in the environment so they understand and they see you. You're not coming on full-fledged, but you're gonna let them see, okay, this is mom's new friend and where we stand.
Or dad's new friend.
Or dad's new friend and where we stand.
So let me ask you a question, honey.
Mm-hmm.
Should a male or female...
Before you get to that, let's talk about the third option, right? So the third option would be, this is the way you set it up. Now, the mother or father at the time that has the kids needs to set the tone. Needs to set the tone for the new relationship between the kids, or the children, sorry, and your new boo or fiance, possibly in the future, boyfriend, girlfriend, however you want to put it. That's how you want to do it. The existing parent needs to set the tone, because without that being set, we are literally, it's not going to work out.
So, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So, the parents or parent should be setting that tone whether they meet someone or not.
Agreed.
So the children should already be taught to be respectful whether they have someone new or not.
So, with that being said, okay, I 100% agree with that. But if you look at it this way, even if you set the tone with a child, you put things in perspective for the child to be respectful and, you know, they appreciate and they understand other people, it's still a new situation. So you still have to, you know, redesign or actually fine-tune the tone that you've already set, because there's somebody now that's replacing and or, you know, joining the family.
I agree with you, but what I'm saying is, I'm not a perfect mother, as you know, but before I met you, I already had 3 children, and I thank God for you. But I had already taught my kids how to be respectful with anyone. So therefore, once I introduced you to them and you met them, they were already respectful. They didn't have an attitude because they didn't know, you know what I mean, what the situation was. Whereas if my kids were Bebe's kids, you and I probably wouldn't be having this conversation today.
Fair enough, which also leads me to number 4. So check this. As you enter the relationship where the kids are respectful, the kids understand, the kids are actually in some form or fashion yearning for this type of love, or this type of, you know, there's somebody coming into this relationship, you as the individual that's stepping in need to understand that it's not about changing the dynamics immediately. You don't get in and then just start making rules and start changing everything and start doing this. First you need to adapt to the living style. You need to adapt to the living style and then introduce who you are to them. You just don't step in and just start changing it and say, this is my way and I do it this way and this is the way it's gonna go. That's not what it is. You build that relationship first. So first, within that you have to, and this is the fourth one we're talking about, within that you have to build your trust. Once the kids start understanding and trusting you, then you can start teaching them. So that you teach them gently. It's not a forced will. You don't impose your will. You gently start releasing your wealth of knowledge, and you may have a lot of years above, and you want to impart a lot of that knowledge into them. This is one of the fourth standings, and maybe actually most important of them all.
So I have one last question for you, because we're gonna have to continue this at a later
You ask a
time.
lot of questions.
I know, and that's why you love me. Okay. Question: what was one of the first things you did with our son when you met him?
So,
Let me see if you remember.
So one thing I did, after introducing myself, I started teaching him early onset manhood. I started teaching him early onset manhood. I started teaching him how to adapt and how to protect. That's one of the first things I did. So when he started trusting me and he started understanding and realizing I was not just here to steal his mother, but I was here to actually evolve him, help him evolve into a new scenery, a new life. It allowed him to release himself to me. And we started coaching him. I actually started coaching him and said, listen, when I'm not here, when I'm not in the vicinity, this is your place. You have to take your role as a man. If something happens to me, you have to take your role as a man. If I'm out of town on business, that's immediately your key to get engaged immediately. There's no questions about it. You run the floor when I'm not here. And I understand your mother still carries the tie. She still made the rules, but you're the man when I'm not here and you need to rule. And that is still prevalent up to today. So up to today, if I leave the country, right, immediately, and this has been embedded in him, if I leave the country, my son will leave wherever he is, doesn't matter. He will leave wherever he is, what he's doing. He will come to the house and he will make sure and facilitate everything that needs to be done, whether it's bills paying, whether it's checking the electrical, checking on the pool, whatever it is. He comes on staff and he makes sure everything runs smoothly. As long as I'm not here, he assumes his right, and it doesn't matter what part of the country he's in. He's already know that's what he does, and then he comes through and he takes care of everything. So that's just a perfect example of me embedding manhood into him and allowing him to evolve. And now he's 24 years old, going to 25, and very much exemplifies the teachings that was broadcasted.
That's true. I remember, and then we're gonna cut off here because we have a few more appointments. But I remember he was about 8 years old, and I was on the phone with my light on in my room, and he came in the room and said, "Mom, time to go to bed. Hang up the phone and cut your light off." I was on the phone with him, and he told me, "Obey him. Hang up the phone and cut the light off."
So it was necessary for me to do that. Now, even though that's his mom, he said it. I set a tone, and I needed to make sure the tone was implemented. So even though I was on the phone, a million miles away, when he created the order and he passed it on, or he passed it down, I needed to step back and say, okay, I already put this in place. I'll allow it to manifest, and that's what I did. Right? He never abused it. He just said it on when he followed through from the teachings I gave him. So it was very important, even though the conversation was on, we probably got back talking when he left and went to bed.
I did. I got right back on the phone.
But at that time, he needed to know, hey, I was given an order, I carried the order out, right, and it was obeyed. And that's how that went. So within the time we've learned, right, and that's one of the things that we must pass on. But I will say this, we started the process of this video. I need your description below. Share, like, and subscribe.
Thank you. I'm Life Coach Veronica, and this is my husband Adrian. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Be well. Why you keep hitting me?
Because I love you.
You know that's your outro, right? They still watching.
Oh, bye.